Hey there, I'm Brad Herlock, your host of the Garage Grit podcast. It's brought to you by AA Shop Marketing, a digital marketing firm for auto repair shops. And this is an Origin and Impact series episode with Max Blatt of Blatt Tire and Automotive. And I'm looking forward to having this casual conversation with Max about his shop here in Philly. I'm not too far away, so it's nice to chat with somebody that's a stone's throw away and also is a fan of the Eagles. And as we talked about before the show, not a crazy fan, not one of those guys throwing snowballs at Santa Claus or anything like that, but yeah, still nonetheless a fan. So, Max, thank you for the show. Thank you for coming to the show. Thanks for joining us.
I'm happy to be here, Brad, and thanks for reaching out and inviting me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Absolutely. All right, so let's tell everybody a little bit about Blatt, the tire shop, and how long it's been in business, where you're at in Philly. They're in Center City, basically.
Yep.
And, tell us about the size of your operations and just kind of give us the backdrop. Go ahead.
So a little elevator pitch for Blatt Tire. We're a fourth generation family owned and operated tire and automotive store in Philadelphia. We're located at 10th and Calla Hill, right north of Chinatown. So just right across Vine Street. We are a 4-bay shop with 1 alignment rack, 3 traditional bays, and then jacks that we do stuff outside with. I am the fourth of my generation to run it. My dad ran it for 50 years before me until he had a medical emergency and had to take a step back. He's okay and he's doing well now, but he's more of an executive position while I manage the day-to-day.
All right. Sorry to hear about the medical, but glad to hear about the bounce back. It
was a good excuse to retire and stay on the beach.
Is that where he's at right now? Writing checks on the beach?
Yes. Yeah. No, he's living it up, and
I'm sorry.
in the
Is he at the beach or the shore? Like, is he in Jersey or Delaware? Right. Okay.
He's in Jersey.
All right, Jersey Shore it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And how often does he check in?
Every day. I talk to him constantly, all the time. I think he called me, must be about 5 times today, just like checking invoices, calling wholesalers, just doing all the stuff that he would do, plus all the stuff I have to do.
And do you occasionally remind him that he's at the beach and he should just like be paying attention to the tides? He calls, asks about the invoices. Every now you call and ask where the tide's at. You should totally do that. You should actually. I don't know the relationship that you have with your dad, but I think that would be like, is the sun setting nicely? What does it look like? Send me a picture, Dad. Come on.
We have a really nice relationship, but he doesn't approve of my nonsense when I try and mess with him too much. He'll just like.
All right, he's more serious. All right, and are you the oldest son, the youngest son? The only son?
I'm the only son.
Okay.
So default.
And how about
my sister trains dogs for a living, so she wouldn't be doing this. Not at all. She likes coming here, but she doesn't want to be in. And
that's because of the great service that you guys provide, I'm sure. And fast service.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of hustle. You have to hustle, you have to get stuff done, and you have to be competitive within the city.
So when it comes to tire shops, it's my impression that it's the nature of that shop is usually a faster pace in, out, get the customers as quick as you can. It's not a matter of, okay, this will be done on Thursday of next week. You can have it back by 11 o'clock this morning.
Time is of the essence. A lot of our wholesalers do same day deliveries. And we also carry a good amount of sizes in stock, which is definitely what makes us a little bit more unique for the city. Just because we have a large footprint, we can carry a lot of inventory. So we have multiple different sizes, private labels, more expensive tires, just really anything that someone could want on their car, we have access to it. And quick turnaround time is, of course, like a huge part of it as well. Ideally, same day service. At most, the longest the car has been here for getting worked on has been like a week to 2 weeks. We try and really get them out the door. We don't. Now, we don't wait.
What percentage of your business is tires versus repair?
It's a relatively even split because we do a lot of automotive repairs, but we also have our tire business, which is, people driving up, getting tires, part of inspections, getting tires. And we also have a wholesale accounts that we sell tires to as well, where we'll deliver them to smaller shops throughout the city, just because we have a lot.
All right, nice. And so, where is the shop going next? Are you going to continue? Are you going to continue to build the tire side? Or are you going to continue to build the auto repair side? A little bit of both. You're going to try to keep it around equal. What's the plan?
Ideally, profitability is my goal at all times. I really want to get into the mobile tire trade because I think we can do it better than other people around here who are a little bit of a tangent story. I don't have to get into it now, but I kind of want to steal the mobile tire business from this one guy.
Okay.
But yeah, he wasn't very nice. So I want to get into that. And
now tell me about that. I'm kind of curious to learn more about that. So what does that look like? I mean, it seems like it's one step away from a mobile mechanic as well.
Mobile tire repair?
Yeah.
Or just the story itself?
Tell me about the business plan, but if you think it's fun to share the story and won't get you in too much local trouble, then by all means.
Well, so effectively, I wanted to steal this guy's business model. Really simple setup. He has his truck. He has a tire mounting machine on it and a balancer, and he would just drive out to customers and swap their tires out for him, but he would purchase his tires from us. So I was just looking at his model and seeing what he was doing and like, why couldn't we do that? Just maybe not as 24 hours, but something comparable, just a mobile service to help people. And, you could, of course, upcharge depending on the service provided. As far as a mobile mechanic, though, that seems to be a little bit more involved. Definitely a more upfront cost. Tires can be done on the relatively simple side.
Okay. So he's currently a customer of yours.
No, not any longer. He wanted to get into a fight with me, and he charged me. And luckily, one of my guys stepped in and didn't let him hit me. But it happens.
Philly or New York, or
yeah.
Okay. So there's okay. All right. Well, that's interesting of itself. So it's an interesting customer dynamic there, but that's a business account. That's not a personal account. So customers don't need to worry about that if they're coming to you on that front.
I mean, I hope people don't attack me often, but if it's part of the job,
right.
Got to wear a lot of hats. One of them's a
defense, right? Okay.
Box,
my goodness. My goodness. Okay, so there's probably a really crazy backstory, but we'll keep that for another time, maybe. All right. So that is. Do you know how many tires he's handling per? I mean, you were selling tires to him, so how many tires was it going through in a week?
He was doing a pretty good job. He was a big talker, so he would be talking to us about the markups that he was charging people for relatively inexpensive tires. He was making like a couple $100 on an input cost of like 70 or 60, whatever. So he was just making really high returns. And I mean, he was coming to us for tires. So obviously there is a market for it, and there is somewhere that we could step into. Big issue is insurance. Operating heavily, that whole bag of worms, and it's not a simple industry to get into. That's why I haven't done it yet, but it's something I definitely have my eye on, and something I really want to get involved in, because I think there's high profit potential and customers ask for it. So when there's a need in the market, you should fill the niche.
Yeah, we as customers want to continue to have extra benefits, right? I mean, if we have to wait, we want the nice couch, we want the nice TV, we want the nice Wi-Fi. I've got a customer of ours they actually set up a separate room with cubicles so that people who are waiting could come in and do work, right, from their laptop. They just plug into the cubicle and get some work done. I found that interesting. So yeah, pay attention to who your customers are and what they're asking, and then deliver that, right? That's really the bottom line. If you already have tires in your inventory, so that makes perfect sense. And it also seems to me, again, I don't know about the mobile mechanic side, but it seems like you're able to expand without actually increasing the number of lifts, the number of space that you have, or any of that. So
I'm trying to get creative with the business. I want to set up outdoor lifts, which would be utilizing space that we're just not utilizing for work. Um, there's a lot I want to do. I do have a really good name for the mobile tire repair vehicle, though. I want to call it the Blackmobile, and I want to make Blattman our new mascot.
Okay.
Legally distinct from any superheroes, because Blattman is my last
I got
name.
that. And I also, even though I've never met your dad, felt him react to that. He probably was not a fan of the Blackmobile.
No, he likes Blackmobile. He likes fun stuff. I have a video. I found a recording that he had made from the 1990s for a Willie Nelson concert in Philadelphia, and I played it for him, and I took a video of us. And it's like, after the Willie Nelson concert, why don't you stop on by Blatt Tires and fill up on some oil and tire? It was a really cute ad, but he kind of moved away from it when people stopped listening to radio ads as much, and he doesn't want to. He doesn't care anymore, right. But I care, so I have to be the one to kind of put it forward.
And you're not going to. I'm not saying that radio isn't a thing completely, but the type of ad space that you're going to be doing is going to be video content, and it's going to be
podcast ads or Instagram
it's going to be video shorts, right? I mean, that's really going to be the bottom line. So the Blackmobile swaps out the tire, and I don't know if you're going to do a cape and whatnot, but
I want to get a tire tread mask or a tire tread cowl. And I think that'd be cool for
You're going to make the employee that's doing it wear that, or just
the employee is going to be me, but I thought it'd be really fun if I just deny being Blattman. I'm not Blattman.
Nice. So always wear whenever you're changing. That could be a hassle to have that mask on while you're actually, doing the change, doing the tire change.
It would be a little bit.
No, I'm saying like, you gotta when you're out there doing the work, you gotta actually have the video. You have to have the mask on as well. Batman didn't go and save the day.
The mask is an idea. Blattman's a concept. We're all Blattman. He's the tire repair shop the city needs, not the one it deserves.
Nice. Nice. All right. Well, good. I'm actually running through different video ads in my head with that, right? And again, all over TikTok and Instagram.
I thought it'd be. I was kind of thinking about this podcast and what I would talk about, and the one thing I really want to say is that the show Tires has stolen my life effectively. I'm sure you're familiar with the show, right?
Tell me more.
The main character of the show takes over his dad's tire and automotive store, and I don't want to draw too many parallels, but they're there between me and the main character of the show. A lot of very similar.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit. And it was real weird. Like, imagine someone just comes out with a show and it's your life and you're looking at it and it's like, okay, this is kind of strange. Because I mean, almost beat for beat, like a lot of the stuff the character deals with, at least in the first season, I haven't watched the second yet, is stuff I've had to deal with on like a daily basis. And it's, well, the creator of the show, one of the creators, is really like me. He took over his dad's automotive shop. It's Valley Green Tires or something like that. And it's all real, but it's very like Twilight Zone-esque to just see your life on Netflix, but it's not you and it's not your story.
Okay. I'm gonna check that show out a little bit, and I haven't seen Tires.
Oh my God. Just watch it and then you can call me after and let me know.
and chat about it.
Be like, I'm so sorry. I understand.
Well, and also, I'm wondering if I should actually advertise for episode 9 of our podcast here, the Garage Grid Podcast, because that was a shop owners panel of people taking over the shop from their dads. And One of the shop owners was successful, had already done it and was about to be passing it on to his, they were already thinking about passing it on to the next generation. And then two of them were like in the tail end of doing it. But the one of the two that were in the tail end, he was really still really struggling with the dynamic. It's your heart kind of goes out to him because you can hear the struggle that in his voice as far as trying to, no, we need to do this. No, we don't. This yellow Ticonderoga pencil is plenty. We don't need anything. We don't need any of that computer stuff, right? So, and so I'm overstating it a little bit, but I mean, I think a lot of people in your shoes can relate to that. In that,
I will say, I mean, and from my life, my dad was paper and pencil until 2024 when he had his emergency. I took over the shop. I ran in his paper and pencil for another 5-6 months. And then I swapped over to digital. And it's an ongoing challenge. I mean, we've been like just forever since we implemented it, just having difficulties, but nothing that we can't work through. It's such a different world than the paper and pencil. It's hard to describe like the difference, but it is like really worth it to do. Paper and pencil, the accounting side is a nightmare.
I mean, but there's also customer benefits. Are you doing DVIs?
Oh, 100%. We're not doing DVIs yet. A lot of that is due to the capabilities of my guys out in the shop, just not having the correct equipment. Only one of them has like an actual like snap-on high-end diagnostic tool, which has a camera, which has all this stuff. The other guys are on their phones or, laptops, but they don't have the same capabilities of like taking pictures and camera and videos and uploading it to our software properly. It's something that we use AutoLeap. I like AutoLeap. I think they're a really cool company. And it's something they're working on to like make an app for technicians, and they would be able to use their phones more effectively. But right now it's only web-based. So you have to log onto the website and go through that.
Okay. All right. I'm processing that. So is your plan to get the additional Snap-on equipment needed so that it works with AutoLeap's system?
Snap-on? No way. Not happening. I might get them like iPads, or I could get them something. I'm really waiting for the app to come out, because once the app is out, they could either use their phones, or if that isn't efficient enough, I can get them iPads. But I'm not going to get them Snap-on readers, because that's a super high upfront cost and a large ongoing cost for paying for updates and everything else that goes along with it. It is not something to just like do on a whim.
So I've talked to plenty of shops who they make their techs check their phones. The phones stay in your toolbox. You do not look at your phone during operations. I don't want you interrupted by your girlfriend or whatnot. And I have other shops, sounds like yourself, where they're actually sometimes using their phones as part of their daily job. Where would you like to see your shop? I mean, if you went out and bought them all iPads, they now have complete internet access to whatever they need to look up on the spot. They now have access to AutoLeap. Are you going to make them put their phones in their back pockets, or are they going to put them in the toolbox, or leave them in their cars?
So when it comes to my guys and what they do, I don't like to micromanage. My dad was a super micromanager. He would overwatch them, everything they do, whatever. I'm more of a results-based individual. If you're not producing,
fold it over like this and then like this. All right, so got it. All right, you're
not blowing. Would never do it.
Let me do it for you. All right, so your approach is what?
Yeah, I am more of a results-driven individual and manager. If you are producing and I can see that and I am getting feedback that you are producing, you're doing a good enough job, then I will give you more leeway. If I am hearing from my guys and I am seeing in the numbers that you are not producing, that it is not working out, I'm going to come down on you, and I'll do my best to work with them to get them to where I want them to be. But if they're not there,
if you're not doing the job, the Blatt man cometh. So you better get on.
And Blatt man will find you in an alley.
So all right, so
it looks like
What metrics? You mentioned numbers, you mentioned metrics as far as how you're determining whether or not they're doing the job. How are you looking at it?
So part of one of the reasons why we're not doing the DVIs is that when it comes to AutoLeap, inputting the exact hours worked, real time worked, and like getting cars done is not where I want it to be for our shop. We're just like, we're not implementing it correctly. The guys aren't clocking out on time. So it's just the numbers are off. But I have a service manager and a sales manager, both of whom I trust really well. I mean, service managers worked for my dad for 25 years. The other one, he came out about 5 years ago. Both great guys. I trust them and what they tell me. And then I've been getting more of the data recently. So I've been going back and looking at it with AutoLeap does have I wouldn't call it coaching because that's a little bit too strong of a term, but just like weekly meetups basically between me and the AutoLeap staff. So I contact with my AutoLeap guy named Tom, and we go through the shop and the DVIs basically, or not DVIs, I'm sorry, KSIs. So key performance indicators, KPIs. So we'll go through those, and then we look at like a technician breakdown, and we see what each technician's producing for their hours worked, and we go through there. But for the most part, my shop and the way my dad has run it has been very strong on like loyalty to employees. I have a guy here. This is the only job he's ever worked. His name's Fred. He's been here since he was 22, and he is now 76.
Wow.
So he's been here his entire life. We had a guy work here, go to Vietnam, come back, and work here until like 2008. So it's it's been a long time, and there's a lot of history with this place, which is one of the reasons I really want to keep it running and going. And I respect that kind of stuff.
Okay. Talk to me about your customers. Are they the same ones that came to you before, that came to your dad during the Vietnam era, or and they're still coming and their kids are coming, or do you have a lot of turnover?
Yeah. No, we have. I mean, of course, there's turnover because we're in a metropolitan area and tons of new people moving into Philadelphia, people moving out. Not much we can do about that. But we have had tons of lifetime customers. Their parents would come to us, and then they would bring their kids, and then their kids would grow up, and then they get cars, and then bring their cars here. So like we definitely have a very loyal customer base of people who've just been using us forever. They tell me about it all the time. Yeah. I would say we have very solid Google reviews for a shop in Philadelphia. We have, I think, around 350 something reviews at the moment, with the general rating of 4.6. So on that podcast I had listened to, your show's episode 3, I believe, with the 3 guys on the panel discussion. One of them was very proud of his 5.0 with over 1,000 reviews. I was very impressed with that. I was like, that's crazy. But I was also thinking about, I have to deal with the reality of people as they are on the ground. I've had customers leave.
Real quick, understand how he approaches that. Understand how he was actually handling that. If a 4.8 came in, I'm sorry, if someone rated it a 4 instead of a 5, he would call them and say, what can I do to improve my score from a 4 to a 5? And then after he improved it, he then would ask them to change their number.
So I completely understand that, and I respect that, and I do that as well when I can. But I've had people just leave 1-star reviews that never even stopped in. They would one of my newest ones is, the service is trash, 1 star. Customer didn't leave a name, didn't leave a phone number, nothing. So I have no way of contacting them, and I could report it to Google, but the chances that they remove it are
you have to prove to them that they were not a customer. So good luck.
Yeah, and I don't know how to do that. But when it comes to a lot of our lower reviews, there's debates. I mean, a big part of my job is if someone, like there was an example with a guy who had a Healy coil installed in his car and he was blaming us that the Healy coil blew out, and it was like a whole thing. I had to do like a whole bunch of research and see how the engines were manufactured, common issues with it. And when he leaves us a 1-star review because we won't pay him, $6,000 to get a new car, there's not too much I can do to be like, well, what can we do to bump that up to a 5? Come on, bud. Yeah, that was there's only so much I can do realistically, but I love the idea of a 5-star shop.
I can appreciate that. I mean, it's also personal when it's your name that's attached to it, right? A little bit. And so, yeah, I'm just over here glancing at some of your 1-star reviews, and it is what it is. Me personally, maybe I'm an anomaly, but I get suspicious when I see a 5-star on if I see 1,000 reviews and it's 5-star, I know that they are meddling with it in some capacity.
I mean,
it's on a reality. I'm saying
not.
No, I appreciate the way he's doing it. Right, he actually goes to them and says, "How do I make this right?" And then he tries to earn that space. I get that, but there are a lot of shops that or a lot of businesses that they find workarounds to try to fudge those numbers. And I prefer authenticity. I prefer transparency. When I look at reviews, me personally, I will look at the bad reviews and see right through the nonsense reviews, like the one you just mentioned. Like I can read through them and say, okay, well, that's not going to be my situation. That's not going to be my story, because I can see through. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So just kind of bridging off what you're saying, what I like to do when I'm reading reviews on a place and I don't really know, like the coaching companies, when I was looking at different coaching companies, I would check the reviews and I would see who has left reviews. And if you click on the individual's name who left the review, you can see if they're a real person or not. You can see if they've left reviews at other places, if they always leave 5-star reviews, like what their average rating breakdown. So what I did when it came to the coaching companies was I would check their reviews, find someone who's 5 stars, click on them, find out normally they're from shops, because who else is going to hire a shop coach? And I would call the shop and talk to them. And I spoke to, must be about 4 or 5 different shop owners across the country, and just got their opinions and their reviews and their thoughts. But I mean, that's an effective strategy for any kind of service that you're thinking about getting. You can call the customers and ask them why they left 5-star reviews as just like a unbiased third party, just trying to find out what they thought.
Yeah.
I tended to call the shops that had good experiences and just ask them why, because same thing with you. Like when you read someone having like a personal gripe with like, oh, this coach was mean to me, or I didn't like this because of X, Y, and Z. Like, yeah, I mean, the usefulness of calling someone with that kind of experience is dubious, in my opinion. I mean, they're already inherently biased against it because they had a bad experience. They're not going to be like, well, it was good and this was good, because everyone who might leave a 5-star review probably didn't have like the perfect experience. I'm sure they have some form of gripe or some issue that they had with it overall, but they enjoyed the service enough to.
I'm kind of curious about that experience as far as you searching out for the right coaching organization. How many different organizations did you end up looking at?
We ended up looking at 2 with intent. Like we were gonna try and decide between the 2, one being Elite and one being ATS.
And how many others were on the were on the long list, not the short list? That is the short list. Did you look at like 3 others, or was that it?
So, this was about 5 or 6 months ago. I can't remember the names of all of them. I think the world something. Okay, I can't remember the exact name. Right. If you give me 5 minutes, hold on.
That's fine. You want to multitask?
I'm kidding. Okay.
And what turned you on to the idea that you needed to look into coaching?
I attended an ATI event with one of my service writers, uh, uh, like towards the beginning of spring, and we got a lot of useful information just from that short meeting, which was like a 6-hour meeting. It wasn't anything crazy. So I came back to my dad, and I was very impressed with what they had to offer. But then, reality of affording it came into picture, and like, are we actually going to get the returns that we would want from this kind of program? And one of the things that scared him off was the amount of people who had said they've been with a coaching company for 5 or 6 years. And my dad was like, well, if they're getting what they need, why do they need to keep having that? Because that would be, I don't know, $100,000 long-term payments towards a coaching company. So, he gets nervous about stuff like that. He doesn't like where you don't know the exact returns that you're going to receive, even if it is generally seen as like a good thing. Like if you can't point to it and be like, well, you'll get this and you'll get this, he's a tough stuff.
It's a tough thing to do. I mean, even in the marketing space, you can talk about return on investment, and that's a legitimate thing to be concerned with, right? I mean, you want to make sure that you're getting value out of what you're getting, but on the same token, it's hard. It's sometimes very difficult to line it up neatly on a balance sheet. I mean,
100%.
So
I mean, what's an impression worth?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Or on the coaching side, what is, you change one little process and your life is easier, but it didn't actually increase your revenue.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but your life is easier. So like, what's the value of that? Right. Yeah.
So my dad would value that at less than $20,000.
Fair enough. Yeah. But back to, like you said, in the marketing space, I mean, how many impressions do you need to have? And the answer is a lot before you actually convert somebody or build their trust with you. And you were talking about the fact that in the city, you're constantly trying to pick up new customers because there's turnover just as far as the people in the area. So what are you doing right now to try to, is it just all word of mouth? Is it are you leaning on the Google reviews?
Yeah. I mean, we are doing really well on Google reviews. I'm currently in talks with NetDriven to revamp our website to make it more search engine friendly. They have like all their terms and stuff, their word salad. But
listen, just as a side note, I mean, as you know, this show is brought to you by AA Shop Marketing. I did not know that you were about to say that, so just to let everyone know that the transparency on this. But I am happy to translate. That's one of my superpower, since we're talking about Blattman and those types of things. I can explain, I can get rid of the salads and just give it to you straight. So if you want that translation, you let me know. So you're talking about the SEO. What else are you talking about doing?
So our website, as it currently stands, as of August 26, 2025 at 3:19 p.m., is, I think, a relic of maybe 2004. It looks terrible. It doesn't work. It has the old Twitter logo. So, that
alone is a telltale sign, right?
Yeah. So I'm really trying to personalize it. My shop is lucky because we have Philadelphia has a program for graffiti artists that is made like all over the city. There's huge murals. It's called the Mural Art Program. And my dad was one of the first people to approve to have the murals on his building. It was back in 1984 or 85. And we have like a full mural that wraps around the corner on Capitol Hill and Ridge. That is like a classic.
That should be your primary hero image on homepage.
Like 1940s classic.
That should be the hero image on your homepage.
It's there. Exactly.
It's not, but it's
for
not.
For whatever reason, my dad didn't care. I know.
Okay.
So our new website is going to have that heavily as a focus. Have a lot of our employees and people. We want to humanize the shop, which, in speaking with marketing people, is an effective way to make it more interesting.
Trust. The word that you're looking for is trust. you need to build trust with these. They're coming in, they do the search, and they see the shorts of you on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. They see different pictures and stories of you on your website. You're building trust with them before they come in. You're not going to.
People trust Blatt, man.
Okay. I think that's the next mural. I think that's got to go on one of the walls. Is there another wall available? All right, let's get that done. That's fun. And so is it really? I kind of want to see the picture of the wall. I mean, so you'll have to share that with me later. I mean, can I get to it from Street View?
If you do Google, yeah, you can see it right on Street View.
All right.
It's the intersection of Ridge and Callow Hill.
I'm going, zooming in. All right. So, let's see here. All right. The time is, how long has this mural been up?
That's been there since the 80s. I don't remember exactly which year in the 80s, but either like 84 or 85. It will say it if you look at the corner and there's like a fake door.
Yep.
No, I don't have any Volkswagen keys.
All right. So what I'm wondering though is, let's see here. If it was made in the 80s, how is it still good looking? Is it still clean looking?
They come by and touch it up.
They do.
It's part of the mural arts program.
All right, I'm looking at it. It's nice.
So, you know, it's family pride and it's shop pride, and you know, just having something that you can point to and say is yours is important.
Yeah. Now they're going to need to, you know, when you make that hero image, I'm sorry, I saw free and then I saw double Z's and my mind went right to Dairy Queen and Blizzards. But it's free road hazard on Michelin tires, not ice cream.
I don't even know where you're seeing.
It's on the fake entrance on the corner of the.
Oh yeah. Tell us that. That's out the window.
That doesn't exist anymore. Where is the? Okay, hold on.
Road hazards.
Now I'm trying to find the actual, because like what looks like the entrance is actually, as you pointed out, a fake entrance. How do people come in here? What's the door?
The real entrance is on Ridge. If you go on Ridge and then look at the lot, there's going to be double glass doors that you could enter through.
I thought I am on Ridge.
Or please.
Kind of in the back. It's kind of in the back. I see it now. It's kind of around the back. It's kind of around the. Okay, I see it now. Got it. All right. Nice. No, I do. I think that should be a hero image. And now you're going to need to do some cropping so that you don't have to worry about the some of the other buildings that are across the street or whatnot. 100%. That could be its own image right there. I think.
I'm being told it should be done next week. It's in bug fixing, apparently.
Oh, yeah? Oh, good. Very, very good. All right. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that then as well. So what else? What else are you going to do?
Well, so I was an economics major in college. I went to Rutgers, New Brunswick, and it's kind of influenced me in a lot of how I think about business and what I want out of owning a business. So I was actually kind of thinking about making a lateral move, not necessarily with automotive. So it's kind of outside the bounds of this podcast, but I did want to open up a little coffee shop. I have a very small window right next to my entrance, and I was going to call it K66 Coffee because that's our inspection station name, and just have it be like a grab and go window. Not necessarily automotive, but something just a different industry and a different customer base that would be something that we're not already targeting, and I think would be just helpful for the bottom line.
Right on the same premises. Okay. All right.
Something just like
I regularly come across repair shop owners
when it comes to implementation.
Max, I regularly come across repair shop owners that own multiple businesses. So there's a home for you here. That's fine. Good. Good. All right. Well, so that's going to be interesting. I guess at Rutgers, you actually came across a lot of Giants fans. That was probably difficult for you.
Well,
You want to talk about it?
It's not that. It's Rutgers exists in the non-real place of Central Jersey.
Yeah.
So you you get influence from New York and you get influence from Philadelphia. And then there's Jets fans in there too that don't want to be Jets fans.
Right. Right. They don't know it yet, but they don't want it either. So okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good. Well, I don't know. I think I appreciate the story. I'm kind of curious to know. You know what? I do have another curious question. Have you talked to your dad about what it was like to take over the shop from his dad?
Yeah. Very different Well, similar and different in a sense. They both had medical emergencies, but my grandfather unfortunately passed. He didn't survive. So it was actually here when it happened in this chair. My dad started having the symptoms of like heart problems. So I drove him to the hospital, and then it all kind of kicked off from there. But yeah, his dad, unfortunately, there wasn't anything he could really do, and it just sort of he was thrown into the deep end of having to run the store. He did grow up working in the store though, since he was like 8 years old. He was telling me he was studding snow tires, which he used to tap with a little hammer 100 years ago. So he wasn't as unfamiliar as I was. I had only worked here for 3 or 4 years before he had to leave.
Okay. All right. And what were you doing during those years?
I did a little bit of everything. I basically learned how to run the shop. I learned how to become a tire technician. So I'll never starve to death because I could always mount tires, which is nice. And I worked the front counter and made deliveries. So I learned all the aspects of the business besides turning a wrench on a car. And I would say that it really helped. At the time when I was changing tires, I was like, this is the worst. I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's given me an appreciation for the work that my guys do. And honestly, labor times. If I look at the board and see that there's 4 or 5 tires up there, I can generally piece together how long it's going to take them just because I've done the work. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if I went to mechanic school as well, that would be helpful. But yeah, I'm lazy.
Okay. All right. Wait, maybe we'll edit that part out. All right. So
leave it in. Leave it in.
All right. So sorry to hear about your grandfather. I'm just thinking that through, and you were kind of fortunate that you had the opportunity to learn from your dad, having that overlap, that segue. That's actually been a positive for you.
I wouldn't have been able to if when I was younger. Like if something had happened while I was in school and I was just told to run the business, I probably wouldn't be able to. It would have been way too daunting of a task just to jump in. And I don't know how he did it personally when he had to, but that was always a scary thought I had.
Yeah. Okay. If I check in with you in about 6 months, will you be further along? Completely move as far as implementing DVIs. I'm going to be specific now.
I don't know. I love to have DVIs. I think it really makes a lot of sense. And I really feel like it helps with the sale where a customer can see, because people don't look at the bottom of their cars like ever. Same thing as people don't look at their tires. They don't know what their tires are. They don't even know the size, the brand, anything usually. And I think if you show someone the bottom of their car and they haven't seen it in ever, it'll be more compelling of a story for them to purchase service than just going off your word from a guy on the phone who's looking at the car himself.
Right. And if they're new to you, you're adding to the trust.
It makes that.
They've read your story from a marketing perspective. They've developed enough trust where they're bringing their car in, and now you're kind of sealing the deal with a video clip of, even if it is only 5 or 6 seconds, of why they need to make this change.
It's a trust-based business. If customers didn't trust us, we wouldn't exist. So there has to be trust.
Right. What's your competitors look like? How many are in your immediate footprint?
There is Ken's Automotive, which does, and the major difference between us and Ken's is, well, tires and inventory. We have a lot more, but they do appointments. We're a first come first serve shop, so we've always operated that way. My dad hates scheduling appointments; he doesn't want to do it, and I don't disagree. In the city, it's difficult to get people to arrive on time and to arrive with expectations of you're going to be here at 6 o'clock, and then they don't get here till whenever they want. So we've completely done away with scheduling. And then as far as other direct competitors, there is a more high end foreign repair shop, which does like, your foreign imports that require more than just an oil change. That are going to require like some super serious work. Those are all within our immediate. Beyond that, tire stores have mostly shut down. There was a Goodyear that no longer exists. Pep Boys is shutting down. So it's really like it's kind of become a mom and pop kind of contest again.
Nice. That's hopeful. That's great. I'm also thinking about just dropping off the car. I don't live in Center City, and so I mean, are they walking home after they drop off the car? Are they sitting waiting? Are they getting
a lot of people Uber? A lot of people Uber. We do have some waiters, but when it comes to like mechanical work, we request people not wait, because usually it leads to more problems than it is like, oh, you fixed my car perfectly on time, thanks, bye. It's usually not that. But for tires, we tend to do it as customers wait. It's just part of it.
Okay. And have you ever considered trying to offer a corporate Uber type setup so they don't even have to get their own?
That's a good idea, but no.
Okay. All right. Do you think people would like to borrow?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Would people want to borrow cars and have their own, or would they prefer?
I don't want anyone to borrow our cars. I don't like it when my guys drive my van.
I don't like when my wife drives my Jeep. I understand. So, but Uber's the way to go, and then maybe offering that as a concierge type service, or a concierge feature of your service, or even just I don't know. There's something.
I don't know. Would you charge? Would you charge for that? Well, if you offer it as complimentary, you wouldn't. But see, that's the thing. Like that's bottom line right there. That's bottom line dollars. Do I offer the Uber concierge at a cost of, I don't know, $15 per customer that utilizes it? Okay, so that's a cost on me as a business owner. But how do I recoup that? Am I getting that back in billing them out for something extra? Are we selling additional service?
Are you raising the rate by $3?
I could do that. I mean, but that affects everyone else who doesn't use the service. So it's a very difficult balancing act. Like, great idea. I love it, actually.
And it's a scenario where, maybe it's also a minimum repair. Complimentary if you're doing a repair that needs X number of hours or Y dollars.
Yeah, that's not a bad. That's a good way to do it.
Otherwise, it's a flat minimum fee so that you're recouping at least most or some of it. And then, of course, you also have to. You also have to
just call their own Uber.
You can't drive to New York on your Uber account. You got to limit it.
But like, what if I'm charging them anyway for the Uber? Why wouldn't they just get their own Uber?
No, I get it. And I don't know what the dynamic is. Like, I don't even have the Uber app on my phone.
You know what? I think I have the perfect solution, and it's the same as always. It's Blattman.
I don't know.
I've done it.
Why don't you do a survey of your customers and find out how many of them have the Uber app to begin with? I don't have it on my phone, but I don't live in the city, so that's probably dynamic, right? Yeah. That's probably part of it. So, so that's so it's. I like the idea of the complimentary piece, especially if it's going to be a wider or a longer repair, and you just have to determine, like, are you just taking them home, or are you allowing them to go to the grocery store and then home?
Run errands.
Yeah.
It's so what I I love simplicity. When things start becoming complicated, I tend to like shut down and just be like, all right, all right. um, so I'll Uber the complimentary Ubers to home. Anywhere else, you're on your own. You
Right.
gotta walk.
Right. Yep, that makes sense.
Get those
That makes
steps
sense. That makes good sense. All right. So, well, listen, Max, I really appreciate you taking the time. We've chatted for a little bit now, not quite an hour, and I've enjoyed the conversation. It's been fun. I actually enjoyed some of the laughs. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the artwork on Blattman and some of the videos that come with it.
Well,
I'm looking forward to a better hero image on your homepage that actually models you guys as opposed to, the generic Center City image. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next steps. What about you?
I'm excited for the future. Possibilities are always endless. But I will do a shout out. If anyone knows anyone who can manufacture or design a good tire tread, I'm gonna call it a cowl because it's not a mask. Because I only want like that part, like your eyes and mouth should be exposed. The rest tire tread. I tried contacting a mask company and they blew me off. So, and I need someone out there, someone in the ether.
Okay. All right. Shout out to the creatives out there who want to. Yeah,
Please.
and you don't actually want to start with a
Make
raw tire,
real.
or do you just tire-esque, or
I was thinking about that. I was gonna like Hannibal Lecter, just like slice some eye holes into a tire tread, but I didn't want him to be creepy looking. I want Blackman to be approachable, not like a crazy person.
Is Batman approachable? You saw if you saw him.
He's the Dark Knight.
If you saw him for the first time on the street, you wouldn't freak out. Of course you would. You'd be like,
I'm not wearing hockey.
Right? I mean, it would be, shoot, which Batman was it where it was the drug that they were on, that they put into the water supply.
Batman Begins.
And they had
with Scarecrow.
Whatever drug he was putting in the water, I feel like you don't need that drug. If you saw Batman actually walk down the street, you would have that response.
He looks cool. And Batman, you wouldn't see Batman walking down the street anyway. Like
True.
Batman doesn't walk places. He Ubers at least, but he's the Batmobile. If you saw the Batmobile fly by with like flames shooting out the back, I'd be pretty.
Okay. All right, and that's gonna.
I don't know.
And you're going to have a tire mounter on that Blackmobile.
Yeah, hanging right off the back, dragging it behind.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so creatives, he needs a mask. Please, by all means, reach out. He's very findable, very easily to be found on Blatt Tire and just by looking at Google Street View. But I'm glad those murals are going to make your homepage. I'm serious, and that's going to be a good thing. I didn't check. Are they already on your Facebook page? They are not.
I haven't checked our Facebook page, and
I can see that. I can see that based on the last post. It actually has not been quite a decade, but we're getting there. Those murals need to be your hero image on your social media pages. 100%. No. That you can do yourself. Come on, get that done. All right. All right, Max. Anything else you want to kind of share with the world that we haven't covered?
I do want to point out how useful your program is for, at least for me. Listening to that information just from the other shop owners is a really nice way to gain additional perspective on your business. Because as I was listening to them talk, and I would focus on what they were talking about and how I could implement what they did in my business, it was only just like positives. It's never bad to hear someone else's perspective, especially if it's in an industry that you're in. So I really wanted to thank you for inviting me onto this program and being a part of it. I'm happy to be part of the Garage Grit library now.
Thank you. Yeah. And you're a welcome part of it. And to those who are listening, if this is your first episode that you've ever listened to, we do a handful of different style of episodes. One is the SOPs, the shop owner panel, and we have those once a month currently, and we pick up different topics. The one that dropped just earlier today here in August of 2025 was about succession planning, and we've talked about reviews, how to handle bad reviews on other panels, credit card processing, whether to pass that on to your customers or not. And a lot of these topics, I think we should revisit. We should talk about them again, because I feel like if we brought in 3 other shop owners, you would have 3 totally different perspectives. Plus, it's been a year or more since we had it the last time. So,
What was the result on the passing through the credit card transaction fee? Was that a yay or a nay?
so the answer is yes and no, right? So you've got shop owners who are more like are probably in the boomer generation, whose attitude has absolutely not, never. It's a cost of doing business. If you need to improve your margin, then raise your hourly rate and go with it. And then you've got people who are in more of your generation whose attitude is, I pay this all the time. It's a line item on everything that I do, whether it's Uber or whether it's pizza or whatever. And then, so what I found when I asked shops which side of the fence that they are on, I found that their customers were more of boomers if they were dead set against it, and their customers were more of millennials or younger if they were okay with it. So where's your market? Where's your?
I'm third level. I'm me, and if we incentivize people to pay with cash, there's gonna be a lot more cash on hand, and I don't necessarily want to deal with cash on hand. I don't like dealing with cash. It's very messy is, I guess, a good way to say it. And I don't. Exactly.
Now that said, when you do a cash discount, it doesn't actually have to be paper. You can promote. There are digital, like Venmo and whatnot. There are cash apps out there that allow. So the credit card companies, I think what's happening was they are seeing that they were losing their percents, their discount rates, if you will, to some of these other cash apps. And so I think they got into the game by having this cash option, but cash like is the actual answer. You can still run it through. And again, I don't know all the details. I'd have to get you in touch with some of the people that I know that are in that space. Like my friend Rob Davis, I'd probably put you in touch with him. And he's a local, so he could come by and tell you what the options are and how it breaks down and see whether or not it's a fit for you. I was just talking to a shop down in Virginia earlier today, and he said he was dead set against it 6 months ago, and now he's just excited about it. So,
well, push comes to shove when it comes to money, and it'll shove you pretty hard. It's something, again, my dad, boomer, didn't want to for years. He was like, no, man. But now that everyone else does it, he's like, why don't we? So that's definitely something he wants to implement.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. So it's a scenario where, I don't know. I mean, you tell me as far as who your makeup is. I do a $2,000 repair. I don't necessarily carry that kind of cash on me. So that has to be a card. I've got to take the fee. Whereas if it's you're just plugging a tire, I'm going to pay that cash every single time.
I don't want to reveal. Well, you're right. No one ever pays in cash here. I never handle cash. That's not something I ever touch. People, if they try and pay me cash, I go, sorry, I just won't carry that for you.
Right. But since you currently take credit cards and hold on, I'm going to help you out. Since you currently take credit cards and you don't charge the fee, it's easy. Sometimes it's a lot easier just to swipe and go, take the points, right?
Yeah.
And so, and that's probably why you have very few people paying cash. So, anyway, but that is a concern to think about, right? Is how to approach that. But like I said, you would then potentially promote the cashless cash options that are out there. All right, well, good. So As I was saying, we do these. We also do these types of origin and impact stories, so where we're getting to hear the stories of shop owners like yourself, and we're trying to learn from each other's experiences and where each other is at, and maybe even share some of the ideas on that front as well. And then the most recent type that we're just now starting to add is when a vendor is meant. So during this podcast, for example, this recording, we talked about Elite as well as ATI. And so we would welcome a coach from one of those organizations or both to sit down with us and share their experiences on best practices on how to consider a coach, maybe, or because that's the challenge that Max is currently going through, how to actually to determine whether or not it's worthwhile. And so we have this other chapter now that we're just opening up called Vendor Insights. And the first one is going to be dropping soon. It was with Shop Loaners, Laura from Shop Loaners. So thank you to Laura for that as well. And guys, the goal is to help as many shops as possible. So Max, hopefully we were helpful for you with other episodes, and hopefully even this conversation gave you some new ideas. Good.
I just wanted to say, how much would that episode cost for me to access?
the Vendor Insights, or...
Yeah, surely you're charging for such
valuable content,
amazing information, right?
No, but it's appropriate for me to right now to kind of chat about the sponsor of the podcast, AA Shop Marketing, aashopmarketing.com, digital marketing company for auto repair shops. And so it's not a matter of us just like throwing together a website for you. It's a matter of figuring out what your shop needs to grow. And as I've said before, and I'll say again, if you aren't trying to grow, if you don't even like customers, then this show is probably not for you, and AA Shop Marketing is probably not a fit for you. But if you are trying to figure out what your next steps are with, whether it be in your shop to grow or whether it be the marketing for your shop to grow, then reach out to us, listen to the podcast for hearing from other shop owners, and reach out to us to know what marketing needs to be done for you. I actually always, by the way, this is something that we've done since day one, but we're now just kind of really talking about it. If you are trying to figure out your next digital marketing step, just what's the next thing I should be doing, I will tell you that for free. There's a form on our website, aashopmarketing.com. You go out, you fill it out. And so, no, we don't charge for the podcast episodes. We don't even charge for that first free step, but we're trying to help as many shops, and some of you become customers, and that's been enough for so far, and it's been working great. So thank you to all of you. And Max, have a great day.